God had made an eternal covenant with David. His throne would endure forever. His descendants would sit on that throne. Even when they sinned, God's love would not be taken away. But David was about to test the limits of that grace. In the spring, at the time when kings go off to war, David sent Joab out with the king's men and the whole Israelite army. They destroyed the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained in Jerusalem. This is where the story turns. One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. David sent someone to find out about her. The man returned with the answer. She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite. The wife of Uriah. The words were clear. She belonged to another man. Uriah was one of David's mighty warriors, a loyal soldier fighting David's war while the king stayed home. David knew who she was. He knew she was married. He sent messengers to get her. When the king summons, you do not refuse. This was not seduction between equals. It was the exercise of absolute royal power over a subject whose husband was away at the king's own command. She came to him, and he slept with her. She had just purified herself from her monthly uncleanness. Then she went back home. The text is brief. The sin is quick. What took months of restraint in the wilderness, refusing to harm Saul, refusing to take vengeance on Nabal, collapsed in a single evening of unchecked desire. The woman conceived. She sent word to David, "I am pregnant." Now the king faced a crisis. The child would be born. Questions would be asked. Uriah had been at war for months. Everyone would know the child was not his. David's first instinct was not repentance, it was concealment. He sent word to Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." Joab sent him. When Uriah came to him, David asked how Joab was, how the soldiers were, and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." It was an invitation to go home, to be with his wife. If Uriah slept with Bathsheba, the pregnancy could be explained. The secret would be safe. Uriah left the palace, and a gift from the king was sent after him. But Uriah did not go down to his house. He slept at the entrance to the palace with all his master's servants. David was told Uriah did not go home. He asked Uriah, "Have you not just come from a military campaign? Why did you not go home?" Uriah answered, "The Ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents, and my commander Joab and my lord's men are camped in the open country. How could I go to my house to eat and drink and make love to my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing." The soldier's integrity cut through the king's deception. Uriah would not enjoy comfort while his brothers suffered. He would not indulge himself while the Ark of God dwelt in a tent on the battlefield. The very loyalty David had cultivated in his men now stood as a rebuke to his own corruption. David tried again. "Stay here one more day, and tomorrow I will send you back." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. At David's invitation, he ate and drank with him, and David made him drunk. But even then, Uriah did not go home. He went out to sleep on his mat among his master's servants. The plan had failed. Uriah's owner was unbreakable. So David turned to a darker solution. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. The letter contained Uriah's death sentence. "Put Uriah out in front where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him so he will be struck down and die." Uriah carried his own execution order to the battlefield. He never knew what was in it. Joab studied the city and put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest defenders were. When the men of the city came out and fought against Joab, some of the men in David's army fell. Moreover, Uriah the Hittite died. Joab sent David a full account of the battle. He instructed the messenger, "When you have finished giving the king this account of the battle, the king's anger may flare up, and he may ask you, 'Why did you get so close to the city to fight? Did you not know they would shoot arrows from the wall? Who killed Abimelech son of Jerubbesheth? Did not a woman drop an upper millstone on him from the wall, so that he died in Thebez? Why did you get so close to the wall?' If he asks you this, then say to him, 'Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead.'" The messenger went to David. He reported everything Joab had sent him to say. He told David, "The men overpowered us and came out against us in the open, but we drove them back to the entrance of the city gate. Then the archers shot arrows at your servants from the wall, and some of the king's men died. Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead." David told the messenger, "Say this to Joab, 'Do not let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press the attack against the city and destroy it.' Say this to encourage Joab. The sword devours one as well as another." David spoke as if Uriah's death were simply the fortune of war, as if the man had not been deliberately placed where he would die, as if David himself had not written the order. When Uriah's wife heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for him. After the time of mourning was over, David had her brought to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. The story seemed complete. The sin was covered. The secret was buried with Uriah. But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. The king who once refused to harm the Lord's anointed had now murdered one of his own loyal men. The shepherd who protected his flock had become a predator. The man after God's own heart had turned his heart away. The next chapter would bring a prophet, a parable, and a judgment David could not escape. In the next episode, the prophet Nathan will confront the king, and we will witness the devastating consequences of David's sin and the depths of his repentance. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing.